Hey homies, welcome to the How to Buy a Home podcast. Today I've got an interview with Will, Annie, and of course they made sure that I did mention Hazel as well. This interview has so many different things that they talk about. They talk about figuring out if they're going to be house poor, what's it like to buy a fixer-upper, how about using a credit union, and how do you find someone that's going to coach you to give you the best options when you buy a home. And stay tuned to the very end of this, because after we turned off the microphones, we kept talking and they said something that was so amazing, I turned the mics back on. You don't want to miss that. Let's hear the episode.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time homebuyers.
All right, How to Buy a Homies, we've got another fantastic success story. I've got Will and Annie here. They're in Asheville, North Carolina, and they're sitting in their new home. It was quite a journey to get there. So I wanted to introduce them to all of you. And Will, Annie, whoever wants to go first, we'll find out who wears in the pants of the family. Tell us your biggest tip for the people out there who are listening to this show and want to be just like you.
Yeah, I would say probably from me, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We'll both answer this question.
Yeah.
I would say I was definitely anxious going into it because I, didn't really know where to start. But I just did what I could, started researching and, started listening to your podcast and started listening to all the other success stories. And it kind of just built up my confidence. And I kept hearing people say, you just got to start doing it. You just got to start doing it and it'll start making more sense. And that's kind of what I did. And yeah, I would say, just trusting your instincts and, there's never going to be a perfect moment to do something like this. But, as long as you got each other's backs, I think anything's possible.
Yeah. And then just sticking with it too, because we saw so many homes before we found the one that we ended up buying. And a lot of them, we started to feel kind of like we were never going to find our forever home. But then we came across this one and it all made sense and the price was right and the neighborhood was right. And we probably saw 10, 15 homes.
Probably about 10
before we saw this one. And we were constantly on Zillow.
We had way more than 10 saved in our favorites. So
just don't give up because you will find the right house eventually, and especially if you have the right real estate agent, for sure.
Well, yeah, great tips. Now I want to get into the story because I think there's going to be a lot that people could learn from this. So you guys closed on your home. Do I have this right? Was it July 1st?
Yeah.
July 1st this year, 2025, for $375,000. Now, back on March 6th, Will reached out to me on his own and said, my girlfriend, soon to be fiance. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
There's the ring. That's a girl. Now, he was like, hey, I don't know. We have some questions. That was March 6th. May 12th. So a little over 2 months later, I got the email. We're under contract. All right.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle of there was a question. So you asked me about very early on, I think it was on March 21st. So just a couple weeks in, you were like, okay, we're connected. You asked me about credit unions and getting your girlfriend / fiance on the loan. Tell us the story. What happened?
Yeah. So basically, since we were dating and hadn't really, conjoined our lives quite yet, I was just naive to the whole situation. I didn't know, do I have to do this all under my name? Does this have to rely only on my income? That's how little I knew about this. And so really all it took was contact. Luckily, I'm a member at our local state employees credit union, and they've been super helpful throughout this whole process because they've just been really willing to work with us and help us explain things, understand things and stuff like that. So we really just set up an appointment with them and they kind of walked us through the whole process. We were like, hey, we're about to buy a home.
We're we're not married yet.
We're not sure if we can afford it. Like,
yeah.
we have this income. Like, she's got this, I've got this. Like, what can we do? And like, they're like, oh, this is great. Like, we can. And then they just kind of took us through the process. And
yeah, it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be some long, drawn-out process, but really they took both of our incomes. We gave them, I think, our last pay stub maybe, and then they pre-approved us for a certain like price for a house, and we kind of took that and made our budget around that price, a little under what we were pre-approved for. But I think we ended up coming up right near what we were pre-approved for.
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely looking for a fixer-upper. I work in the residential construction industry, so I have a fair amount of experience there. And, you know, we're trying to add some equity to this too. So we wanted to stay a fair amount under that kind of limit and give us some room to kind of work with. As
a teacher and a construction worker too, we had a certain budget that we could afford. And I was getting nervous towards the end that we, wouldn't be able to afford a house, but it's about the same price as what rent would be in a big city. So.
Okay. Teacher and construction worker buying a house who beginning of this year, no clue. March, you reach out to me. March 21st, you're still like, I don't know. Can my girlfriend be on here? What happens? May 12th, you're under contract.
Yeah.
That was quick.
It was fast. Yeah.
Usually, so we definitely came into this with like at least doing our own kind of research in the sense of understanding where we're moving and like understanding kind of some of the neighborhoods. Annie's lived in Asheville. Asheville is where we're at right now. And so she grew up here, so she was already really familiar with a lot of the areas and kind of knew like where we belonged.
Where I wanted to live and where I didn't want to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew the right and wrong side of the tracks. So
exactly.
Okay, talk to me about the credit union then, because I always tell people like 90% of the time, if not 95% of the time, the credit unions don't work out. So you got connected with your unicorn realtor through us. But had you already talked to the credit union?
Had we?
I can't remember the timeline exactly, but I think I had waited to speak to the credit union after I had even talked to Tina.
Yeah. So you got with Tina and you said, hey, I've got an option here. And you guys checked out that option and it checked all the boxes. Everything was okay there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, in the right situation, if you're what they call an A-paper client, it can work out great. What were you guys renting before?
Well, we had a unique situation, and it actually is part of the reason all this was possible. We were renting from a family friend and had really cheap rent where we were. We were paying about not even splitting $600 a month.
Yeah.
Did you do the practice payment ahead of time? Did you realize you had extra savings since you were paying such a low rent to afford a new mortgage?
Yeah, essentially, like we used this low rent to put away as much savings as we could and like basically get us prepared. I also kind of came in with some of my own personal debt, so it was kind of my goal to go ahead and get as much of that paid off as I could, just so, once we got here and we're faced with this $2,000 mortgage, like we're not overwhelmed and I got all these other payments to make too.
Yeah, and then going from living in a city, we were living in Charlotte, there were just a lot of other like expenses that we had that we don't have in Asheville, which helped too. Just helped us when we moved here be able to afford this for sure. Like I think I was paying at least $100 going on the express lane, which gets you through traffic in Charlotte. And so that was $100 that got freed up and just little things like that.
Yeah.
We work closer to our jobs now, so gas didn't cost as much. So it definitely made it affordable.
People tell me all the time, I found this home on Zillow, David, should I buy it? I'm like, dude, there's like a million facts. Like, look at all these little things you're talking about, like the commute, the general expenses of the area. All of that comes into play when you're trying to figure out if you should buy a home.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that jump in the new mortgage payment you guys were prepping for, what kind of down payment did you guys use?
So that was one thing that the credit union actually had this first-time home buyers program, and we were able to do a 0% down payment.
No way. Okay,
Yeah.
now it's starting to make more sense.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it honestly was crazy because it just felt like the stars were aligning for us because we wanted a fixer-upper. This one kind of turned out to be a little pricier than we wanted it to be. But then we go to the bank and they're like, actually, this is still doable. Like, we have a program for you guys, first-time home buyers, and, you know, we actually can give you a 0% down payment and a little bit of assistance towards the closing costs.
That was huge to have a couple $1,000s towards our closing costs, because that's another thing we didn't know as a first-time home buyer, that you had to pay lawyers and, you know, random fees, and so they helped us out with that, which was huge. That was super helpful.
The conversation for you guys started with, hey, let's check this out. You did some research, you contacted us, you got in touch with Tina, and then that got you in touch with your lender, and suddenly, you know, in 2025, everybody, credit unions, mortgage brokers, they're all coming up with new programs for people.
Yeah.
And were you guys mentally prepped? Like when they said $2,000 for your payment, did you guys faint, or were you ready for that?
I mean, it sounded like a lot, but it didn't sound astronomical. And it was like, you know, we've been preparing for this. This is what it's all about. Like, we're no longer going to be like living in a place that, you know, we're just kind of burning our money every month. And we also really like making a house a home. And when you're in a rental house, you can't do any of that. You can't change anything. And so part of this has just been really fun because, you know, we're in our house and we can do whatever we want, you know?
Yeah, within the first, I think, 3 hours of being in our house after buying it, we ripped out our kitchen because we were like, we're just going to put in a whole new kitchen. That's just the beauty of owning a home. You can do whatever you want with it. It's so freeing.
No one to call.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Control. It's, you know, so many people talk about, hey, I don't want to rent in my 20s because I want to be free. And I'm like, cool, you have no control. Or I don't want to buy, they say. I want to rent because I want to be free. I'm like, cool, but your landlord to raise the rent, or everybody, you do you. But I mean, like, how old are you guys?
27.
26.
We're young. We are young, yes. And all of our friends, all of their rent is going up by hundreds of dollars every month or every year. And, you know, they're so fed up with it. And I think we've convinced a few to consider buying now that we're like locked in at our mortgage and everything.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because if they're still renting in 5 years, that's when they'll really get it. But that's the whole point, is that you want to be able to talk to people now, and share the podcast with them.
Oh yeah,
they'll listen.
Yeah,
we already shared Tina, our real estate agent that we got from you. We already shared her with somebody else too.
I tell people all the time, the best part for me is connecting people with unicorns. But then there's so much stuff that happens behind the scenes when, you know, there's 3 million realtors. Unicorns are 0.01% there's only 300 of them right now.
Yeah, right.
And finding those people, and you guys, you know, it is a partnership. You put the work in, and, you know, knowing you could talk to your credit union, knowing it was a fixer-upper. And I do appreciate the fact that you guys decided to stretch a little bit, because you want to talk about that equity at zero, you know, at zero down right now. You've got to start building the appreciation on your home. And apparently you started 3 hours in. So
and I painted the entire house as he's ripping out the kitchen. So we added so much equity within the first couple weeks of living here.
One little fun thing was that when we got into the house, when we first toured the house, there was a tenant in here, and that made it a really complicated situation. And I think that's partly why we kind of got the house, because Tina was able to, you know, bug them enough and be like, look, like, these people are motivated. They want to get in there. Like, why aren't you letting anybody in? Because they were blocking everybody out.
Every request to come see the home, they were blocking. So I don't know what Tina did. Tina pulled some magic and she got us in. And I think because we were able to see it before anyone else really did, we put an offer right away and we got it, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
I had one of my unicorns get pissed off that I called them unicorns one time. She's like, bro, I'm a bulldog. What are you doing? And I was
Yeah,
like,
that
Tina.
describes Tina more.
That's Tina.
yeah. So I had to make a unicorn with like a leather vest with the sleeves ripped off and tattoos and a big
Yeah.
mohawk.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my unicorns. I call them badass unicorns.
Yeah,
Because
Tina's badass.
well, that negotiation, that advocacy, somebody fighting for you.
Mhm.
There's such an opportunity to be had, not only just to get in to see it, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure the place wasn't sparkling, showing ready.
No,
with
and
the
that's
cannon
kind
in
of
there.
where I was headed. Is like we walked in on our first day, like first walkthrough, and stuff was everywhere. Like, I mean, they hadn't cleaned an inch of the house. Like, we had to look past so much stuff, and but even then, we were like, yeah, like this is it. Like,
Yeah.
we could see past the mess. And
But speaking of equity, what's interesting is on our back port, it's like a sunroom. They had so much stuff out there, they didn't realize it was heated or cooled, so it wasn't counted in the square footage. So when we bought the house, we kind of got this like instant equity because that square footage in the sunroom, they didn't count it in the initial square footage.
it is in fact heated.
And it is heated and cooled. Their stuff was just covering the vent, so that was a nice surprise too.
Yeah.
So within your appraisal, did you get a different square footage than what was listed in the listing?
We haven't gotten it reappraised, but
Yeah,
yes,
we're
when
gonna-
we do, we will get an extra
More.
like 200 square feet.
Which is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is serious equity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Tina even noticed it, maybe.
Yeah, she was like-
maybe after.
She was like,
She
this
knew.
will be our little secret.
Yeah. Well, if you have the vision, and I tell people all the time, hey, if you want a perfect turnkey home, great, we're going to help you figure that out. But
Mhm.
the vision, when we can't get into homes and my buyers get upset, I'm like, no, this is awesome
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
no one else is either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and right. And I guess that's a tip right there. It's like, don't let it scare you away. Like,
Mhm.
we tried across the street, we looked at another house, and it was a court-ordered sale, and it was the same kind of thing. It felt sketchy. It was like, should we do this? But we went for it anyway. We put in an offer. Ultimately, we didn't win that offer. But, you got to go for it. You got to try, and it's worth it in the end.
Definitely.
It's so funny to me because you guys are like, wow, we saw like what, 10, 15 homes. I've had out of town buyers where we see 10 homes in one day.
Yeah.
I
know.
think we were lucky in that.
I knew we were quick. I knew we
Yeah.
got lucky, but I knew we
Yeah.
just, like, you set us up with the match that we needed because she was perfect. She,
Yeah.
took the time to, get to know us and, understood where we were.
And we're in a competitive area. It is hard to find a home in Asheville that is affordable. And what I loved about Tina, our unicorn real estate agent, is that she understood what we were willing to live in for a little bit. She understood that we didn't want a brand new home, that we wanted something that was a fixer-upper, but that had good bones. Because the house that we're in right now that we ended up buying has hardwood floors, which is amazing. It has a wood-burning fireplace. But it also had, dust bunnies and rat poop and rot.
Yeah.
And so she knew that we could fix that aspect of the house while maintaining its beautiful character that it was built with.
The opportunity, and like I said, not everyone's ready for a fixer, but the opportunity for it sounds to me like you're both involved and both enjoy the control.
Yeah.
So Annie, my question is, next summer, do you teach summer school to be able to pay for this cool house, or do you take the whole summer off so you can do projects all summer long?
I would say take the whole summer off because after a year, 10 months with kids, I'm ready for a bit of a break. But I'll probably tutor a little bit, do projects a little bit too. Because, we do have to be able to afford the rent still or the mortgage.
Yeah, one good thing is I work remote, so I'm able to be here all the time. And
Wait, you work construction remote? How do you do that?
Yeah, he's worked his way up.
Are you a PM?
I started out with the company 7 years ago, and it was a woodworking company, and now it's a home building company, and I'm more on the design and project management side, and they let me move up here and take my work remote, kind of with the idea that we would move the business up here eventually, but yeah, it's been a dream to work remote in a fixer-upper, I will say that.
I come home and there's like a new chandelier hung, and like he painted the kitchen and landscaped the front yard, and I'm like, great.
Wow. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
Well, for a guy in construction and now working with new build homes, it's just a lesson for everybody that you were looking for the place with rat poop that you couldn't get into that you could fix up.
Yeah.
Because if you're willing to do just a little bit of sacrifice while you're young, you guys still beat the average homeowner this year is 41 years old. You guys beat them by a dozen years.
41?
Yeah, because they don't know the podcast and they don't know Tina.
Yeah.
Everybody is out there freaked out because prices have been going up and interest rates have been going up, and they're not just make the call. Look what happened when you did. 0 down payment. You got debt, no problem.
Yeah.
So are you still working on the debt right now with the new payment, or are you just trying to pay for the mortgage?
I mean, right now I've kind of shifted our focus to house and just since we're in the first 2 months of living here, I want to make sure, and plus teachers don't really get paid until halfway through September.
September 15th is when I get paid. So
one of the many travesties with the teaching salaries, but that's another podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
So we hit pause
my mom was in
debt.
education.
Yeah.
We hit pause on the other debt and like our focus on the house. We got a lot of projects done that needed to happen, and now we're kind of like slowing down, and we're gonna kind of.
But you are the success story to everyone else. You had debt, yet you still got approved, and you got this raging program to go with it.
Yeah.
And he was disciplined. He paid off. He was, aggressively paying off his debt for a while in preparation for when we knew we would have to have a mortgage.
And part of that is why my score went up so much.
Yeah.
And
true.
Over the last 4 years, my credit score's gone up a fair amount. So I was.
Yeah, you dropped that usage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly. I was in a very healthy place for them to approve us. So.
You sure you guys are 26 and 27? You act like mature people.
Thank you.
Y'all are adulting.
We are adulting. We are in the thick of adulting for sure. Like water bills.
It still definitely feels like we're faking it a little bit, but you gotta just, stay on top of it as much as you can. Every day is a new thing to learn. There's something new to learn every day here, and
you talk to anyone older, and anytime they talk about their first home, they sound like there are a couple of teenagers who went camping. They're like, oh my God, remember this didn't work, and there was a bear in the backyard, and it always feels that way when you first get started.
Oh yeah, and with the fixer-upper, you have to live with it sometimes. Like our guest bathroom, this is really funny. Our guest bathroom, the light switch is hardwired to be off all the time, I guess. And so to turn on the lights in the guest room right now, you have to screw in the light bulb to turn them on, and then screw out the light bulb to turn them off.
Yeah.
So obviously that is something that we'll just have to live with for a couple of months until we can afford an electrician.
I'll get there.
Or he does it.
It's lower on the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I am the least handy idiot in the world.
Me too.
But I got a tip for you.
Oh, please.
You're going to kick yourself when you hear it.
Uh-huh.
Our coat closet was unlit. It's like $8. 9-volt battery, motion sensor light.
Oh.
Sticks to the ceiling. Little, you know what I mean? Little. I mean, I swear, it was probably on TikTok Shop that I saw it. You know what I mean? It's just a little thing you stick, boom, and we open the closet door and the light goes on.
Okay, so our friends told us to use a smart light bulb, that's connected to our Alexa, and screw that in, and then we can just say, Alexa, turn the light off, and then, so that's.
Obviously, you guys, Will had something in mind here since the engagement happened.
Big plans.
Will had plans. So working on the debt, working on the savings, and then once you found out what you were approved for, did this home just appear, or did you guys just flip a switch and realize we're going high gear?
Say that again. The last.
Did you flip a switch and just realize we can do this? Let's start looking at homes.
Yeah. I mean, It was basically that.
Yeah.
And, you know, this one wasn't available right away. It was just like we were kind of just scouring all of the apps all the time. And like Tina had us set up on the like One Home portal, and we'd get notifications all the time.
Every time a house went on the market.
And like, you know, we came and made trips up here multiple weekends to look at them.
But I think one tip I would give a first-time home buyer is that I probably looked at this house multiple times on Zillow, and I just kind of, you know, clicked past it and was like, oh, that's fine. But it took me coming here, seeing the neighborhood, seeing the location, and seeing where the house was, and the backyard and all of, you know, like the hardwood floors for me to really fall in love with it. And then there were homes that I was completely in love with on Zillow, and then we went and saw them in person. And I was like, never mind. This is on the side of a busy road. I don't want to live here. So I think that it's really important to see it in person. And actually, I don't think I saw this house in person before we closed on it, now that I'm thinking of it. I'm pretty sure that we put an offer in.
And that's why she let me do that.
I take back my advice.
Yeah.
We looked at the one across the street.
Yeah.
And so she got a feel for the neighborhood.
And all that.
And it happened where, you know, Tina got us into this house.
But it was like, it has to be at this time, this day at this time. And as a teacher, you can't just take off, you know, without the sub. So you came up and saw it. My parents came and saw it.
Yeah, her parents live in Asheville, so they met me here. We FaceTimed Annie, and she was like, yep.
I was like, let's do it. Put the offer in.
Well, because you had learned there is different levels you can do just online. I just finished recording a YouTube video today on the tips and tricks you can use online to look at satellite view and the street view and all that stuff to figure stuff out. But you said it, Annie, there's a giant difference, right? When you're looking at stuff online and then you start to see them and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And suddenly, and you guys were smart enough to understand that this was a hidden gem that no one else was getting to see.
Yeah, we got thanks to our what'd you say, leather jacket unicorn real estate.
Yeah. Your biker gang unicorn. That's what I'm gonna call them. So what kind of home is it? You said you have a guest bedroom. How many bedrooms?
So
how many baths?
It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, and it's just like a ranch style. This neighborhood was built in the 60s. They built them all the same, like the brick rectangles, you know.
Used to be an orchard.
Apparently it did used to be an orchard.
That's where I live. I live in Orange County because it was orange groves by Disney.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice. Ours is peach. I think it was peach trees.
Yeah.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I spent 4 months in Atlanta and I never, ever got anywhere on time because every street is peach something.
Peach, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, every single street in Georgia is definitely.
South has got peaches. This is crazy to me because, I mean, the reason I started this podcast was because when I was your age, I was still renting. You guys are in like the house I grew up in that my parents bought. You guys, you should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Well, and I'll say we sort like the actual interior design, like all of our furniture. I mean, the dining room table that this is sitting on right now is from Goodwill for $50. You know, we bought our chandelier for $20. So it's all about sourcing it too. And once we started to put things in the house, it all started to come together. And painting the house, that made it feel really clean.
We painted every surface,
every square inch of this house
before we did anything.
Did you do that before you move in, or did you move in and have to tarp stuff?
Before we moved in.
Yeah, it was nice having a flexible rental agreement because we didn't have a terminating lease or anything like that. So we took about a month to work on it in weekend trips, and we got all the big stuff done before we needed to come up here.
Now, how far is it? Because you say this was basically buying in another area. How long a drive is it to get there?
Not too bad. It's only 2 hours. Yeah.
Hour 45, 2 hours depending on traffic.
Yeah, but that's not like Tina calls you and says, a brand new one came up. Can you come after work?
Yeah. And we did. There were times where she would say, hey, I have this great house, like come and see it. And we'd leave after work, drive up here, see it, drive back down. So we were really committed to seeing the house in person first before we bought it, just because there were so many that I fell in love with. And then when I saw it, you know, on a busy road or The
Yeah.
roof was caving in.
And part of it too is Annie had just gotten a new job in the city,
Yeah.
so we didn't have a choice. Like
We were moving here.
Yep.
whether we liked it or not,
Whether we were renting or not, we got to move
but we
here.
weren't gonna rent. Like
We didn't want
we committed to ourselves, like we were gonna buy here.
Yeah.
That to me is the highlight of this story. People in their 20s, more often than not right now, are having these strange, no one's working at the same company for 40 years and getting a gold watch. There are job changes earlier now for people. And I wish more people explored at least the opportunity. Worst case that happens is you figure out you can't buy and you do rent in that city for a year.
Yeah,
But
Exactly.
you know what I mean? But, and then, I learned how to budget and got rid of some of my debt. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. Yeah, and we would have rented, but we were so determined to buy. We really were sick of renting. With his background in construction, we really wanted a fixer upper. So we were very determined there for a couple of weeks, and it all paid off.
Yeah, you don't have to explain to me. I will once again harken back to 3 hours kitchen removal. That's great.
Yeah. Well, it was wild because we had to get a 13-yard dumpster and we filled it up to the brim
Completely.
with all the stuff we tore out / they left here.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I forgot you had that's 13 yards. That's a lot of rat poop.
Yeah.
No rats anymore, though. It was all old.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, the nice thing too is that you guys are also another testament for everyone to make sure part of your savings should be so you can overlap the rent, because that month to whatever it is you want, the whole, like you talked about, the control of being able to do whatever you want. How awesome is it to like go, you feel like driving tonight? Hell yeah, I do. Bring the sledgehammer. Let's go.
Yeah.
There was a sledgehammer. That's for sure.
It was definitely therapeutic in a way to just rip it all out and
start fresh.
Yeah.
Dude, you pay for that. In Southern California, they have these things called rage rooms. You pay to go in and smash stuff.
Yes, we're not supposed to do that. Yeah.
You should have. Oh, there's another tip. Looking for some early move-in money?
Yeah.
Come
you guys can smash my kitchen.
Come smash our kitchen. We'll pay you $80 an hour, or we'll have you pay us $80 an hour.
How about
that? Yeah. So because the house was so difficult, as far as with the tenants and the stuff everywhere, did you guys go through a laborious inspection period, or were you kind of comfortable since you are pretty comfortable with homes?
We kind of
we had an interesting
crossed
inspection.
our fingers a little bit, which was a little risky, but our inspector definitely was like, walked in and was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to really give a full inspection here
because of all their stuff.
And I can't really move anything. I can't look around. Like I can't see some things.
Yeah.
He couldn't get under the crawl space because some of the duct work had kind of fallen down. So he couldn't even see back underneath the kitchen. And so there was definitely some risk involved, but with the construction experience, I felt comfortable.
And we got, was it radon air tested?
Yeah.
We did that. Tina made sure that all that was done so that we knew it was safe to move in.
That was the thing that Tina suggested was I'll have a roofer come out.
Yep.
After the inspection came through, he pointed out a few things, and we did have some people come out and take a look at the roof and the chimney.
But she did all that for us. I mean, she organized all of that for us. She got the roofer to come out, the plumber. We did have one pipe that was exposed with asbestos, so the plumber came and took that out. But she was integral in kind of, organizing all of that for us, which was so nice.
Yeah.
I don't think first-time home buyers, when you're connected with the right realtor who has the connections, first-time home buyers do not understand the power they have during the inspection period. Your general inspector comes out, gives you the general inspection. If your realtor knows all those other people, those people are going to come out and give you free or cheap inspections.
Yeah.
Guess why? You're a new homeowner.
Yeah.
The first time you have a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, a roof problem, who are you going to call?
Right.
That same person, yeah.
So
and what was cool is, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, or help me tell this, But we were able, after the inspector came, we were able to go back to the seller and ask for a sum of money that we could then put towards some of these fixes, which was, that was, Tina told us to do that. That was really nice too, that we got that.
Yeah, and Tina had to write in the contract to make sure the terms of your contract were that you had enough time to not only do an inspection, but to do a renegotiation.
Yeah.
People get way too focused on the price. And I'm like, stop hammering the guy on the price for $800 on a $700,000 condo where I live. You know what I mean? It's like, because you're going to have a second negotiation when you want a $10,000 HVAC fixed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
And hindsight, you know, as a first-time home buyer, and, you know, maybe you can speak to this, but, like, I feel like we could have asked for more. Like,
I do too.
I feel like we probably could have gotten more.
How much did we?
And I was just nervous. Like, I was like, I feel like I don't want anything to mess this up right now. But having never done this before.
Yeah.
My rule of thumb is I like to provide some kind of documentation with a number behind it. I will usually find a way to conflate those numbers a little bit. But you know, it really depends. And I know a lot of realtors, the good ones will be like, hey, you know, let's not ask for 20,000 when I can really only on paper kind of justify 5,000, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about like, we got 5,000 back and I feel like we could have got 6,500. You know what? If the 5,000 meant that they were like, fine, we're in, good. Boom. Because before you even started looking for a home, you had no idea you were going to get zero down payment and a few thousand back on your closing costs.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants to leave money on the table, but there's always an all-encompassing number that a good realtor's looking at, not just each individual number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then you got the July 1st. So you guys have already made a mortgage payment.
Yes.
And Annie, have you started the new job yet, Annie?
Yeah, our school opened, let me think, was it August 17th? So it's been, you know,
3 weeks, pretty much.
Somehow it's only been 3 weeks. Like, it's been 4 months.
It's already been 3 weeks.
So yeah, it's been 3 weeks. Yep, which is great.
What age are you teaching?
I teach 5th grade. But I teach at a really cool school. It's called the Key School. It's actually where I went. And it's a school that serves students who have dyslexia, so who have trouble learning how to read. So I love my new job so much. I'm really enjoying it.
So, hey, everyone here for home buying tips. This is story time with Dave. When I was in New York City, trying to fulfill my life dream at 30 years old, not realizing what a complete dork and idiot I was for not owning property at that time yet. Part of the reason why I'm here, there was a girl who was going to Brown, and when she was a sophomore in college, her professor realized that she was dyslexic. She was just so bright that she had been able to create her own recalculation of everything, get into Brown, and be at such an incredible level. So the fact that you're at a school that's doing that at that age, that's amazing.
Oh, it's a very rewarding job. And these kids they're brilliant. They're so bright. They're so smart, but they just can't spell or write or sometimes read. And so we say that we're unlocking their potential. That's why it's called the Key School, because we are giving them all the tools they need to succeed. And I mean, when I was younger, I was told I wouldn't go to college because I have dyslexia and I have a master's. So, you know, when you give students the right tools, they're able to unlock their potential.
Well, that's a little metaphor I've got for what I do with first-time home buyers.
Yeah, sure.
There are keys before you get the keys. And those keys are simply showing you options. 41 years old for the average age for first-time home buyers is straight up criminal. Like, there's a lot going on with everybody trying to sue everybody. Somebody should be taking the real estate industry to task, because you guys are the story. 26 and 27, moving from one town an hour and a half, 2 hours away you guys have good jobs, but like you said, you're a teacher. You ain't making, Steve Jobs, Mark Cuban money. That I know.
For the money.
But even with your debt, you still had what you needed to get into the home. And I know we talked earlier, do you have more than one dog or just one dog?
Just one. You probably have heard her this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not at all. That's fine. And how does the dog enjoy the new home?
She loves it.
She loves it.
The second she walked in, her tail was wagging and she was, all over this house. And we were with a roommate before. So I think it's nice too that it's just the three of us in a house. And then she's got a fenced in backyard. That was something that that felt so small that we told Tina that we wanted. I mean, I think I literally said hardwood floor, fenced in backyard, in East Asheville were my three kind of things that I wanted. And she found us a house with that and even more. And Hazel loves it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm putting together some other, I interviewed a guy who does ADUs. I don't know what it's like there. Do you guys have a basement, a garage, or space in the yard for that somewhere down the line?
Yeah, we have a carport, but no basement or garage.
Yeah.
Because one day.
Well, you were talking about the roommate situation, and there are a lot of people who, again, I think they probably have more options than they think they do, but they think they need a house hack. Mm-hmm. And they need to do something like that. But the ADUs is something to think about in the future. But for you guys too, because you're in so early, I'm starting to do this at the end of all my interviews. In 6 months, go back, call the credit union, call Tina and say, let's start making two plans here. One plan where we sell this house in 5 years and another plan where we keep this house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because if you guys could do that, like I've been saying, man, 30-year-old me, if 21-year-old me knew what I knew now, 30-year-old me would be on a boat and retired.
I know. We say that our dream is to live in this house, maybe raise a kid or two in here, like live out as long as we can and then sell it when the market's good. And then he might build our next house and that would be super cool. And we would make a lot of money on this house.
Yeah,
which would be awesome.
Right, like you said, keep it as a rental.
We do love it.
Well, keep it as a rental, and then in a year, as you're paying it off, just start to budget. Don't sacrifice your life, but start to budget a little bit of the new home building savings fund.
Yep.
And because you're going to gain appreciation in the home, and if you put that in a decent money market account or something, that can make money. And then you're in the same place 10, 15 years from now that you were when you started. You have the option. Is this enough money in savings? Or do we want to sell the house and buy something and build something enormous?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm giving you like a 4-year project, Will. You're going to have to build some mansion.
Well, I kind of want a big house, like on the side of the mountain with a beautiful sunset view. We have big plans. We have big 15, 20-year plans.
I love it, though.
I was going to make like the horrible tacky joke, like you put a ring on it, dude.
But it's true.
Too late. She got what she needed.
This thing's not coming off.
Once a couple sees their possibilities, just the idea that you can dream this way, and it's not a dream, it's actually, well, let's make that an option. That's why I do this. I love that for you guys.
Well, you've helped us so much. When Will first came to me and said, hey, I'm listening to a podcast and he's giving us a real estate agent, I was like, okay, that's great, babe. Like, I can't wait. But then once I met Tina and I listened to some of your episodes, you really helped us make our dream come true. As cheesy as that is, you really did.
And I think you just have a way of like speaking to this population
and don't know what
motivating us and like making us feel like it's possible. Yeah. Like it's not. Everybody else out there is telling you that you should just rent and renting is the smart thing, but that's not true.
And every night that we sit in this house, we talk about how grateful we are for this house at probably every single day.
Yeah.
And so, we're just very thankful to be so young and own a home. That's so cool.
I get really excited. I've had a couple different people that have told me the stories very much like what you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, it's like, a month in, I was just walking. I stood in the living room and I was like, dang, I own this.
We've had so many of those moments.
Yeah, for real.
Well, it's truly just an opportunity for me to show something that should be taught by more people, but it's not, because the industry's, corporations making money, greed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then someone invented podcasts and I found a mic. I was like, all right, because I'm telling you, if I had my Marty McFly time machine, I would so be you guys.
Yeah.
And in a house.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and you said you're in California, right?
that's correct.
So we found you across the country and you helped us buy a home across the country. And so, yeah, it worked. Amazing. Thank you for picking up the mic.
12 or 13 years of doing real estate, one of the things I realized was that people move to other parts of the country. So I've been flying to conferences since 2006. And you can spot a unicorn bulldog across the room. So I was like, hey, Tina, I think we should talk.
That's awesome.
We can't shout her out enough. She's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best. Well, thank you guys for taking the time tonight. I really appreciate it. And I know your story is going to inspire others. Thank you for the kind words. And just do me a favor. Next time you have that moment in your house, just remember, he said I could do this and I did it. I own this house.
I own this house.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks to Will, Annie, and Hazel for giving us the information of how real buyers bought a home in this market, how they found their options, how they figured out what they were going to do to find the right affordability, to not be house poor, and a special thank you for giving us that wonderful little nugget. What are you guys doing this weekend? Enjoying our mortgage. Love that. Now, if that story inspired you, if you heard that and you thought, hey, maybe I can do this, great. Go to howtobuyahome.com. Then let's find out for you. So much of what we do at How to Buy a Home is just helping people find out where you're at today. And then there's the next big step. Once we find out where you are, that's when we give you the tools that you need for steps, whether they're big steps so you can buy something in a few weeks or a couple months, or whether they're baby steps so you can buy something in a year. It's kind of first-time home buyer coaching that you just don't find out there anywhere else. So go to howtobuyahome.com, ask me a question, or you can ask to get your local unicorn team so you can get specific, experienced local information on how lending and housing is working in the places you want to buy a home. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, review, write a little quick review. It helps us get the podcast out there. Someday I hope to have you on the other end of the microphone, because you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, is this dude right? And I'm thinking, yeah, you can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyahome.com to get started.